YouTube, what's happening? It is Monday, August 12th, and as you can see, we have a much smaller slate of games today. But the cool thing is we have new matchups, so we get a bunch of fun ones to look at, dive into here in a little bit. Drop a like and subscribe because yesterday, 7-4, 3.29 units back into the bankroll. That puts the total up over 70 units on the season. Again, the most we've been at, I believe, was about 81 about a month ago. So it's just been a roller coaster up and down. So we're trying to get back to that record high for the season. And you can already see teams are starting to wind up. They're starting to figure out what they want to do for the playoffs. Some pitchers are getting less innings. They're getting prepared because, you know, the end of the regular season is the end of September. We're in middle August right now. So we got about a month and a half left of the regular season. Side note, there will be a football video this week on the channel. It is going to be a preseason video. Now, there's no data. There's no stats. I'm just going to put a video out and talk about what I like. Why not? Because people ask for it, and I'm going to give out the people what they want. So there you go. And then next week, there will be a college video. There will be a bunch of college videos because there's a bunch of games out there. So we'll talk about that more when we get closer. But for now, we have, what is it, 3, 6, 9, 11 games today. So let's go ahead and jump to that first one right now. All right, first game up, we got Chicago and Cleveland. It's pretty much a pick 'em, 8.5 is your total. Looking at the weather, we see no rain, no winds, nice night overall, can't complain. Looking over the bats, 54% Nerfy based on what they've done this year. Cubs on a 4-game winning streak, 1 away from 500. Cleveland, 2-game winning streak, so someone's got to lose. 6 runs, 311 average for Cubs. That's 10th and 5th. Their offense has been pretty good recently in the last 3 games. Cleveland, they're coming back up from the cellar, 3.3 and 204. That's 19th and 21st. They were bottom a couple days ago, so they're doing a little bit better. And then strikeouts, neither team striking out much. Looking over at the pitchers, we have Shota's going out there, 306 with a 105. You can see he has not faced Cleveland. He was pretty good last game against Minnesota. Struck out 10-4 against St. Louis. You can see he's just been pretty good overall. And then Lively, pretty much same story. Pretty good numbers all the way, except for this game against Detroit of all teams. He gave up 6. That was just a weird game overall. So I would say there's no real advantage in the pitchers. They're both pretty good. So pop over to props. We start with Shota. We see there's no history against Cleveland. Cleveland against lefties, some are just terrible. But then you have Jose likes lefties. Juan likes lefties. So we want to see, and Thomas likes lefties. So I want to see the batter props to see if any of those stand out because this has been working out pretty well. In the last 8 out of 10, we see Jose's over HRR. So is Juan. They're both at that. So I could take either of those. We got some Cubs we'll come to in a minute, but for now, I think the one I want to go with, Jose's 363, 123. Juan is only 912. I think I'm going to take Jose. I think I'm going to take Mr. Ramirez. Ramirez over 1.5 HR. I think we're going to do that one for sure. I don't want to take 2 of them. I just want to take 1 just in case Shota comes out and just pitches to Jim. So try not to be too greedy on these picks. So let's look at the props real quick. Very consistent. That's fine. I'm not doing outs right now, especially after yesterday. I finally took 1 and it missed. Strikeouts are up and down. Hits, earned runs, walks, nothing really stands out. We come over to Lively. He has a history. We can see Swanson has 3 at-bats, 2 home runs, and 5 RBIs. So is Swanson on my list over here? He is. Swanson. See, I said this, but now I'm taking it. So I just contradicted myself because of these numbers. So now Swanson, it's Monday too. There's not many. 1.5 HR. We're just going to do HRR. We're not going to do home runs. I mean, you could if you wanted to, but I'm not. I'm just going to stick with Jose and Swanson. I mean, you could add Quan if you wanted to. Hell, take all 3. Why not? You could. So you can see the stats, what's going on against righties. I mean, Cubs aren't as good against righties, but they're not terrible. So you see the numbers. Hits, strikeouts. Neither team striking out much. Earned runs, walks, and pitching outs. I don't like any of these. Oh, and I almost want to take. Now we'll just take 2. We're going to limit it to 2. So we're not going to go anymore. I don't like a side, really. I lean Cubs just because the offense is better. The pitchers are about the same. I'm not taking a Nerfy, not with these offenses. So for me, I'm going to take Ramirez and Swanson both over 1.5 HRR and move on to the next game. All right, next up, we got St. Louis and Cincinnati. St. Louis is a slight favorite. 9 is your total. Looking over at the weather, we see it's not really going to be a factor. It's going to be pretty decent. No wind to really worry about. Looking at the bats, no streak, 57% Nerfy. St. Louis is doing pretty well. 5 runs, 294. That's 13th and 9th in the last 3 games. That's what you want to see. It's pretty good. Cincinnati, is 2.3 and a $188. That's 28th and 25th. That ain't going to get the job done. You can't do that and expect to win games, but somehow they won yesterday. So, maybe I'm wrong. But still, the stats say you're not doing too well. So you got to give St. Louis the advantage on the bats. Looking at the pitchers, Sonny Gray's going out there, and his last 2 games have been pretty good. Only gave up 2 earned runs both games. But before that, he was, look at the teams. It was Washington twice, Cubs, and Atlanta. Ooh, this ain't the best lineups to get up runs. So I expect runs to get scored against him. Maybe a 2, maybe 3. Abbott, I also expect runs because you see what he has done. Gave up 6, 2, 4, 0, 5, 0. He is an elevator. He's either top or bottom. That's where you're going with him. So, what's the over-under? 9. But since these offense is so bad right now, I don't know if they can help with that. So, okay, let's go to the props. Andrew Abbott's going out there. We have, Arenado has 2 home runs and 10 at bats. That's notable. So let's pop over to this to see if we got. We don't have much on here. Everything else is in the 60s. Okay, no batter props in this game. There's no one right there. Wow. Okay. That's something to look at. So the only thing we have is Candelario bases and Fraley bases. I don't like that. Okay, so let's look. St. Louis versus lefties. Some thrive against lefties and some just straight struggle. So you can see what they do. Nothing really stands out. Strikeouts, very up and down. Hits. He's given up a lot of hits recently versus St. Louis, but this is only 5. What is this? 5. It's only an underdog. Yeah, okay, pass. No, we want to add out more than we want multiple books if we want. None of this is looking good. So let's go to Sonny. Sonny, what you got for me? Sonny. Sonny doesn't have any real. We got some at bats, we got some info, but nothing's happened. A lot of zeros, boring stuff. Cincy versus righties. They struggle. They need help. Only one doing good is Ellie, and Ellie needs some help. The whole team needs some milk. They need help. So we can see. Go over to strikeouts. Sonny Gray strikeouts versus a team that is 11 strikeouts a game for 27th right now in the last 3. That's not a bad play. However, it's 6.5. He got 6 when he faced him on June 29th. And for the whole year, he's only hit at 48%, 10 out of 21. That's too close for comfort for me. If they gave me, look how many times he's hit 6. So many times he's hit 6. But then you have games with 12, 10. No. I took this one too against Tampa because Tampa was 30th in strikeouts last week when they faced him, and he only got 6. And he had to get those 6 in the last couple innings he was in too. He didn't get them early, so I'm gonna lay off him in this one. So let's go hits, earned runs, walks, and outs. That's kind of good. I don't like any of that. Here's the bats again. You want a couple guys with bases. I don't. I can't take an over because of Cincy's offense. I don't want to take an under. I don't want to take a Nerfy. Well, St. Louis's offense, and these pitchers can give up runs. This is just a kind of an ugly game. I don't like any of it. I'm going to pass and move on to the next one. All right, next up we got Houston and Tampa. Houston is a slight favorite on the road, 7.5. They're in the dome. They're at Tropicana and St. Pete, so it's not a worry about weather. Looking at this, 55%. Nerfy based on what they've done this year. 7.7 and 333 for Houston in their last 3, as third in the majors in their last 3 games. And they're on a 5-game winning streak. Worth noting, streaks are important in baseball. Tampa, they won their last game. Somehow they pulled a Cincinnati, 2.7, $189. That's 25th and 24th in the majors, and yet they won a game. So I don't know how they did it. And they're not striking out much. See, they were striking out terribly a week ago, 2 weeks ago now. But now they've gotten that back down, so that's good for them. They're doing better. Houston's just on fire. So let's look at the pitchers. We got Valdez going out there for Houston. We can see what he's done. Dude loses a no-hitter on the last out. That was wild to watch. After he almost decapitated the dude with the pitch beforehand to put him on base, and then gives it the 2-run jack. That was wild. So crazy. And you can see what else he's done before that. He's been pretty good. So, he's good. And then Mr. Taj Mahal himself's going out there. Got absolutely shelled against St. Louis last game. And before that against Miami. 5 and 4. Those aren't good numbers. Before that, he was just untouchable. But this last 2, he's They've shown he can be touched. So if you cut him, he bleeds. He is human. So you see this. So yeah, can't complain. To me, both pitchers are awesome. I like them both. The only thing difference is Houston has massive offense. Tampa struggles. So that's the only difference I see so far. Let's look at props, see if anything stands out. Maybe we can get a hitter prop or two. Taj, history versus Houston. Not much. Pena's got a home run. Bergman's got one. Diaz has one. Not many at bats. Not good averages. Not really. Nothing really stands out. Houston versus righties, a lot of red. They prefer lefties, but the numbers aren't too bad, except for Diaz. That's terrible. But, nothing's too terribly bad. Props, outs. That's a nice little wave you got going on here. Strikeouts. He was a beast, but he's been slowing down strikeouts recently. Hits have gone, mostly low, but 9 last time. Oof, earned runs and walks. Yeah, I'm not feeling any of those. And we look over at him. We want his history. What we got? Anything good? We got some green, but not many at bats, so I really don't take that consideration. Tampa versus lefties. Not good, not good, not good, not good, not good, not good, and then great, 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 great. So they are split. Some are great, some are terrible. So let's look at see. He's very up his hits. He only gave up 1 last time. Obviously, the last one. So we can see strikeouts. He only got 5 in that game too. You had the whole game and you only got 5. I had him for 5.5 strikeouts for the game. And I lost that. Terrible. Earned runs up and down, walks and outs. He's gone up. I don't know if I'd be surprised even his 18 today, just because he pitched so much last time. So I don't like this game. I think the pitchers are great. They might shut down the bats, and then we have Houston's bats which are on fire. Bradley might get rocked again. It's like, what's the total? 7.5. I could see it. I could easily see it. I lean Houston. I must say it. I lean Houston because I think they can score on Bradley, and Tampa struggles anyway. So, yeah, I think I'm gonna put Houston in the money line parlay. I think that's gonna be the only play I have. Oh, how dare me! I almost forgot the bats. Let's see. Jordan, 80%, 1.5. Bregman, Alvarez, and Bregman again. Okay, let's go back and look at these two real quick. Make sure I didn't miss anything. Bregman is 1 for 3 with a home run. That's not enough info. And Jordan is 0 for 2. That doesn't tell me much. That's not telling me a lot. They're there. I'm not going to play them. I'm just going to take Houston on the moneyline parlay and just move on to the next game. All right, next up we got Texas and Boston. Boston's a slight favorite at home, 9.5 the total. Weather, you can see there's some rain early, then it's supposed to clear up later for the game itself. Wind's supposed to be blowing out at 9 miles an hour. Might have a slight impact, but probably not much. Looking over at the numbers, we see 40% nerfy based on what they've done this year. Boston's on a 4-game losing streak. Texas lost the last one. You can see 5.3 runs a game, 297 for Texas. That's 12th and 8th in the last 3 games. Boston 3.3, $188. That's 19th and 25th, hence why they lost 4 games. And you can see strikeouts. Boston is terrible, dead last, 13.3, and that's where they tend to hang out. Boston strikes out a lot. So let's look over at the pitchers. For Texas, they're sending out Mali. I don't know how you say it. I'm gonna call him Tyler. So you can see what he's done. It's been 1 game. He pitched 5 innings and struck out 2. So I don't know if he's really a strikeout guy or not, but we're going to find out today because Boston strikes out against everybody. So if his number's like 3.5, I probably will take the over just for fun, just because it's Boston. And we can see, and that was against Houston. Okay. And then Bellows going out there for Boston, and we can see what he has done. He's been pretty consistent in giving up 3 runs. This is what he's going to do. He's going to do that. And then, okay, let's go to the props. See what stands out. Let's start with Bello first, that we just talked about. Bello first. History. There is a little bit of history, but not too much. No one really stands out. Garcia, just not good. Simeon, not good. Lau, not good. Texas versus righties, some are just not good. There's a 300, but still a lot of mid to high 2s, middles. It's just it's average. And strikeouts for Bello is 4.5 against. How's Texas doing strikeouts? 10 strikeouts a game for 23rd. Bello strikeouts might be a play. Head to head? 2 times last year, you got 3-2. And this mostly the same team, so. Okay. That was Toronto. That was KC. KC never strikes that often. And Oakland strikes out a ton. Okay. Hits, earn runs, and outs. Not liking any of those. Let's go to him and see if he even has a history. We have a little bit of a history, not much though, nothing we're talking about. Boston versus righties. They like hitting righties, but they still strike out a bunch. So, I mean, yeah, they should do all right. Let's look at, he has his hits for 5.5, and his strikeouts are 4.5. Ooh, how did he do last year? He only had 5 real prop games last year. This year, he's only had 1. Okay, I'll lay off that. Let's go to the bats, see what looks good. Not much. Dominic Smith, Devers, and Rafaela. Ugh. This is not a good game. Ugh. I am not liking any of this. So, what's total? 9.5 with these pitchers in Boston? I'm not feeling it. I'm just not feeling it at all. So for me, I'm just going to lay off all of this and just move on to the next game. All right, next up we get Kansas City and Minnesota. Minnesota's a pretty heavy favorite in this one at 150. 8.5 is your total. Looking over at the weather in Minnesota, it's going to be a good day. No precipitation, nothing, no wind to worry about. Looking over at the information, no streaks going on, win losses. 50% nerfy based on what they've done this year. KC 7-287. That's 6 and 10. That's top 10 offense in the last 3 games. Minnesota's middle 3.3, 263, 19th and 15th. Can't complain there. And neither team is striking out. Both third in the last 3 games at 6.3. Looking at the pitchers, I think they're pretty equal. Just looking at the information, you can see 4.3, 0.041 good numbers, and then Pablo, who doesn't get as much talk as he probably should recently because he's 2.1, 2.24. I mean, there's an argument Pablo might be a little bit better recently than Brady. I mean, that's a take that might have some pitchforks coming out, but I mean, let me show you this. Hold up. Let me show you Pablo. Let's talk about it more. Matchup, history, anyone. I don't care who you are. You keep Bobby Witt at $167 and 12 at bats, you deserve praise. You keep Pasquantino at 0/8 at bats, you deserve praise. KC is struggling hitting against Pablo. That's just facts. You can see it. No one's doing well. I mean, we got a couple 200s, but no one's doing great. And you can see against righties, they do well. So I can see why Minnesota's favorite, but I don't know why they're this much of a favorite. That's not a stat that gives you a 150 plus favorite. So especially against KC and Brady Singer. So let's look at the props real quick. I don't like any of these. I looked through them already and nothing's really standing out to me because I like consistency in my props. And I ain't seeing it. So Singer, same thing. Let me show you what he's done. Boop, boop. He's also got a good bit of red. But Buxton is doing well. 467, 2 homers, 4 RBIs. I know Kepler has a saying, but he only bats 250 and 20 at bats, so I prefer Buxton. However, you come over here on the batter list, Buxton's at 60% down here on bases. I need better. I need better. So I'm not going to take it. So. But it's there if somebody else wants to be a little more risky and take it. By all means, Buxton could have a game. Who knows? And against righties, you see what they do. Bucks is only 275, but some Miranda is doing well. So looking at the props themselves, outs, very up and down. Strikeouts, hits, earn runs, walks, nothing standing out. Very up and down. On the bats, Miranda was on this list. Bobby Witt's 8/10, 90% in the last 20, but he faces someone he can't really hit on. So I bet Bobby was going to be a massive play for a lot of people today, and I would not be surprised if they're very upset by the end of the game because Pablo is just dealing when he faces KC. Same with Pasquantino. You can see I mean, I think both pitchers are great. I don't see why Minnesota is this much of a favorite, but I'm not taking KC. I don't want to take Minnesota, so it's a great game, to be honest. Great matchup. I can't find anything I want to play, so I'm just going to sit back and pass and move on to the next one. All right, who's ready for the squarest play of the day, probably? New York and Chicago, Yankees and White Sox. Yankees are minus 315 on the road in Chicago. Total is 9. Let's look at the weather. We're in Chicago. We can see it's going to be nice. No rain. Wind's blowing in a little bit. Nothing stands out there. Let's look at the bats. The records, Chicago's on a 3-game loser. Yankees won one, 48% nerfy. You can see the story, lots of single digits. 6.7, 3 away for New York. That's 8-6. Chicago, 3-257. That's 24th and 17th. Big advantage on the Yankees. Let's head over to the pitchers. We got Gil going out there. We can see what he has done. Dude has been just a beast. That's what he does. Pretty good numbers overall. Can't complain. And then Kai Busch is going out here. He's pitched once, 4 innings, 2 hits, 3 earned, 5 walks, and 3 Ks. So, I mean, but first game, can't really complain too much. But I mean, 5 walks. Oof. That's crazy. So, yeah, you got to give the Yankees all the advantages in this one. And let's just dig into some props and see if we can find anything. I mean, hey, we can actually look at some Kai Busch stuff. Cool. Obviously, no history. Yankees versus lefties. I mean, they're still right at 300. That's about the only two. Everybody else kind of struggles. So, hits. We got props for all. Okay, 4.5 hits, 3.5 strikeouts, 2.5 earned runs. Walks is at 2.5, and outs is 14.5. Yeah, no, pass on those. Louis, what you got for me here? Not much history against the White Sox here. Not much at all. Chicago versus lefties or righties, it doesn't matter. Your numbers are not going to be too good over here. So, yeah, it's the White Sox. Hits, 4.5, strikeouts, earned runs, walks. It's very up and down. I've already been through all these. See, so. And on the bats, we don't have too much. We got a few bases. We got Verdugo and Vaughn. That's it. I don't like any of this. So, I mean, it's like you have to put New York in the moneyline parlay. I mean, they have the things. They have the offense. They have the pitcher. Those are the 2 things I need for a moneyline parlay piece. Advantages in those 2, and they have those clearly on both. So, I hate putting a 300 favorite into a moneyline parlay, but I'm gonna do it. So, and I think on top of it, I almost want to take New York -1.5. What's the run line? The run line is -1.5 is -180. Okay, no, we're not doing all that now. So, all right, we're putting Yankees moneyline parlay. Nothing else. We're gonna have little exposure as possible in this, just in case typical baseball weirdness happens. So, if I lose the parlay because of it, hey, whatever, cool. But I ain't risking nothing else. Next game. All right, next up, we got Dodgers and Brewers. Pretty much on pick 'em with a total of 8. Brewers is a dome, so no worry about weather. Looking over the bats, 49% nerfy based on what they've done this year. Dodgers on a 3-game winning streak, 6.3, 279. That's 9th and 12th for LA in the last 3. Milwaukee, 4 and 161. So they're 14th in runs, but dead last in batting average. They went from 2nd at 304 to dead last in a week. That's how fast it can change in baseball. Just off a cliff is what Milwaukee did. So, yeah. Whew. And they're both 16th at 8.7 when it comes to strikeouts. Looking at the pitching, we see Kershaw's going out there. He has pitched in 3 games now, and you can see he's been pretty good. Can't complain. He had no strikeouts in the last 2 games ago, but it's San Diego. They don't strike him much anyways. He had 5 against Philly, so how is 8.7, 16th? Yeah, maybe. Oh, and then also we have Peralta going out there for Milwaukee. We can see what he has done. He gives up some runs occasionally, except for that Minnesota game. He's going to give up 2 or 3 or 4 runs. That's what you expect. So the bats, you clearly got to give LA the advantage. Pitching, I give LA the advantage again. Probably moneyline parlay piece, but we'll dig a little deeper just to see if anything stands out before we make that decision. We'll start with Peralta since we were talking about him. Freeman's 313 and 16 at bats with a home run. That is noteworthy. Otani. Oh, well, he hasn't had any bats. Okay. Oh, he got walked. That's why. Okay. Let's go to the bats. So we're looking for Freeman. Anything Freeman recently? No, so I'm not taking Freeman. But it's good to look at that. Good to find things that stand out. Rojas, 310 at bats. That's not bad either. Let's see what we got. We got some Rojas bases. You're hitting 310 at bats. That means, and what's your OPS? It's only 600 though. That's not that good. I mean, obviously it could be worse, but I mean, 600 is not the best. I'll pass on that. Hernandez is 500, and I know he's already at the top. We saw him up there twice, 90% last ones. I mean, he's He's 1 for 2. How's he do against righties? 269. Not the best. Freeman's still 313. So, all right, let's look at some props. Hits, strikeouts, earned runs, walks, and outs. Nothing standing out. Let's pop over here to LA. Look at the history. Boop, boop, boop. Hoskins 429, but it's only 7 at bats. But we'll still look, see if it's on here. Hoskins, yep, is HRR. It's against Kershaw. Now, is that enough at bats? If 7 at bats enough data, because that's 4 out of 7. He has a home run. That's probably 2 games, if I had to assume. I think I want at least 3. I want double digits before I really consider it. Of course, I did take Swanson earlier. He had 2 home runs and 3 at bats. So we'll split the difference. We'll just leave that alone. Let's go against lefties. And he only has 218 against lefties anyways. A couple good ones. About a bunch of 200s. Hits have gone up for Kershaw recently. But he's facing Milwaukee, who's 30th in batting average. We got to remember that. Strikeouts, very up and down. I mean, 2 games to 0 with Kershaw. It's just unbelievable. That's crazy. Earned runs, but then you get, yeah. So, and the bats, let's just look at these. I mean, Jackson's doing his thing, but he's kind of cooled off a little bit in the last 5. Yeah, Hernandez is going to be a popular play today, I'm pretty sure, against Peralta. I think I'm going to take it. I mean, yeah. Now we're going to take bases or HR. How much do we want to gamble? A base? I think I'm going to take the base. Just the, that's 180 though. That's not fun. Let's do the HR. It's plus. That's 1.5. It's plus 100. Yeah, that's a much better number. We'll go for the juice, the good stuff, the good juice. We'll do that because this isn't fun. 180. I mean, yeah, if you're on a parlay piece, maybe, but straight. I mean, ugh, we'll do that. Outside of that, I don't particularly like anything. I think I'm gonna put LA into the ML parlay. And that's it in this one. Just take those 2 and move on to the next game. All right, we got Toronto and the Angels. It's a pick'em. 9 is your total. Let's look over at the weather. This is in Anaheim, so we can see it's nice weather. 6 miles an hour, blowing out, slight breeze. Nothing really to worry about. 62% Nerfy based on what these teams have done for the season, actually. 2.3 and a $1.91. That's Toronto in the last 3. That's 28th and 23rd. Not good numbers. Angels, 4 runs, 265. That's 14th and 13th, middle of the pack. And neither team is striking out much. Toronto is 2nd, LA is 6th. Looking at the pitchers, we got Bowden Francis going out there for Toronto. And, I mean, he pitched 5 innings last game. Not bad. You can see he gives us some runs occasionally. He's a reliever technically, but at 5 innings, it might as well be a starter now. So you can see we don't know how many innings he's actually going to pitch. It could be 0.1, it could be 5, it could be 2. So yeah, there we go. Have fun with that. And then we have Davis Daniel going out there, and dude got rocked in his last game against the Yankees. Had a good game against Colorado. Rocked against Texas. Okay game. He's been up and down. More bad than good. So I would give. I mean, you got a bullpen game essentially for Toronto versus a pitcher who we don't know how many he's going to pitch to. 3.1, 3.2, 5. You might as well say 2 bullpen games. I mean, might as well. So, props. Let's go to props. Let's see if anything we can do here. Let's take a look. We'll start with Davis Daniel. No history. Toronto versus righties. Some are decent. Vladdy's 317, but outside of that, 293 for Horowitz, but not much else. Ooh, 5.5 hits, strikeouts, earned runs. Neither team striking out much. I'm not going to take those. Let's look over here. See, you don't have a history either. Nope. And Angels versus righties. Even Hops came, he was 300 a few weeks ago. Now he's dropping down. He's coming up though, 273, but no one else is really doing anything. 4.5, 4.5. 2.5 and 1.5. None of these look good. And on the bats, again, nothing. We got Ward 70% on HOR and Adele 90% on bases. Just not a good game. This ain't going to be a good series. I'm telling you right now, this is going to be probably the worst series. I'm looking at the rest of the games. Yeah, this might be the worst series of the week of all the teams. So yeah, this is terrible. 9. I just. I can't do a nerfy because Angels offense is actually mid. Both pitchers are up and down. It's just, I mean, I get nauseous thinking about this game. So I don't like anything. I'm just going to pass and move on to the next one. All right, we got an interesting one. We got Colorado at Arizona. Arizona's minus 225, 8.5 pitch total. Looking at the weather. Let me find it real quick. It's in a dome. It's Arizona. I keep forgetting they're in a dome. So, yep, there you go. No weather to worry about. 48% nerfy based on what they've done this year. 7.7, 342 for Colorado in the last three. That's third and second. They batted 410 yesterday and still lost the game. That's good old Colorado pitching for you right there. And 28th with 12 strikeouts a game. So they're hitting the ball, but they're striking out if they don't hit. So Arizona, 8.7, 382. 382 in the last three. That's first and first. They batted 419 yesterday. So yeah, just a bunch of ones. Offense is on fire. So, oh, let's look at the pitchers. Quantrill's going out there for Colorado. So we can see he gives up runs. It might be a rough day. What's the total? It's 8.5. 8.5. I mean, he might give up 8.5 by himself. I mean, and then Brandon fought fat. I've heard them say his name so many times, I can never get it right. So he still gives up some runs, and he hasn't faced Colorado recently. He has not faced Arizona recently. Both offenses are on fire. I mean, I feel sorry for I really feel sorry for Quantrill, but I mean, he might shut Colorado down a little bit. So now watch, this game will finish 2-1 final. Just watch. That's how it usually works in baseball. Let's go with the stats. Yeah, we'll do Quantrill first. History against Arizona. We got some history as far as 353, but nothing really happening outside of that. Peterson's only 250, 273 against righties. You see how Arizona does. They're probably the most consistent team of all the teams. They're just going to be decently good against everybody, both sides of the plate. That's just what they are. And we pop over. We'll flip to the other side real quick while we have it. Boop, and we'll see how Brandon does. Not much information here. Colorado against righties. They got some ups and downs here. No one's at 300. Nothing's really standing out. So I do not have props for Quantrill, or else I would be looking at them. So all we have is Arizona. So we'll look at these props. Hits 5.5. I think he might shut down Colorado a little bit. I mean, Colorado did that to Atlanta, so they might be able to do something, but I don't know. Bats, we got bases, we got some HRRs. I mean, you have your choice. What do you want to play? You have all the options. So I think I'm going to be safe in this one. I don't know why this total is so low, but I'm going to take it. 8.5. Why not? Because I just think, we're going to have runs this game. The stats say the offenses are on fire. The pitchers show they have given up runs. So, 2 + 2 is 4 usually. So I'm going to take the over 8.5. I'm not going to take any of these props. We're just going to sit back, hope for a whole bunch of runs, and move on to the next game. All right, next up, we got Pittsburgh and San Diego. San Diego is a pretty heavy favorite in this one. We see 8 is your total. Looking at the weather for San Diego is right there. There you go. So you can see clear skies, no rain, winds, not much of a factor. Looking at this, Pittsburgh's on a 7-game losing streak. San Diego just had their 7-game winning streak snapped by Miami yesterday by 1 run. Great series between the Padres and Miami. Every game was entertaining. Love it. So 3.7, 264 for Pittsburgh. That's 18th and 14th, middle of the pack. San Diego, 7 runs, 287. That's 6th and 10th. So slightest advantages to San Diego in the offense. Pittsburgh is striking out a ton like they usually do, 10.7. San Diego doesn't strike out much usually. So pitchers, we got Marco going out there for Pitt. We see he gives up runs. This is what he's known for. That's what he does. So and he faced San Diego last time he pitched was 8-7, which was literally 5 days ago. He faced San Diego, gave up 5 runs, 8 hits, only 3 strikeouts. Joe Musgrove's back. That's a fun one. He hasn't pitched since May. He is back. It's his first game in literally almost 2.5, almost 3 months. So this should be fun to see how he does. So first game from him. So we expect him not to pitch many innings, but yeah, we'll see what happens. Let's go to props. We can look at the history though against Pittsburgh versus Musgrove. It's a lot of red, not much on there. He's pretty good. Outside of Grandal, Grandal likes facing him for some reason. Is he on here? Just we got a lot of green on here, but he's not one of them. Okay, no problem. And let's go over to Marco real quick since we're already here talking about it, because I don't have any props for Musgrove because it's the first game back. I can see why there's no props, but I do have props for Marco, so we'll look. He's got a home run, but not much info. Bogarts is 231 is not that good, and Profar's a $130 and 23 at bats. Ugh. I mean, ugh, that's terrible. Okay. San Diego versus lefties. San Diego's better against righties. That's pretty common. We got a couple ones. We got some mid to low twos. Yeah, I'm not liking any of that. Hits is 5.5. Been giving up a good bit of hits. How many innings is he pitching? Even then, he's still giving up a bunch of hits. That's interesting. You know, we're facing San Diego, who is 10th in batting with 7th in runs. Over 5.5 hits might be a play. Strikeouts, earned runs, walks, and outs. I think I like this over 5.5 hits. So this is Gonzalez over 5.5 hits allowed. If he's done this, he faced San Diego last week and gave up 8 hits. Before that, Arizona, Philly. He gave up 7 to the White Sox. I mean, yeah, I'm gonna take 5.5 hits allowed with him. Batting props, I'm not really feeling any of these. Especially with Pittsburgh, we don't know what Musgrove's going to look like, and yeah, we'll leave it alone. Outside of that, I don't want to take San Diego money line because Musgrove, we don't know what he's going to look like. I'm not taking totals. I'm not taking Nerfies. I'm just going to take that Gonzalez 5.5 hits allowed and move on to the last game. All right, time for the main event of the evening, Atlanta and San Francisco. It's a pick 'em. 6.5 is your total, and you'll see why in a second. But first, we're going to look at the weather, and we're going to see that it is 10 miles an hour, blowing out, but should be nice, no rain. So, okay. And we'll come back and we'll see 59% Nerfy based on what they've done this year. Atlanta, 8 runs a game, 327. That's second and fourth in the last 3 games. It was against Colorado pitching, so take that with what you will. So San Fran, 3.3, 185. That's 19th and 28th in the last 3. You can see what they've done. Neither team is striking out much. And that's going to be interesting because today you're facing Chris Sale, San Francisco. Congratulations. You get to you get a sale. There you go. And he has been pretty good. It's Chris Sale. We know this. He's good. He faced San Fran back on July 3rd. 6 innings, 3 hits, 1 with 9 strikeouts. And they Braves get to face the hottest pitcher in baseball right now, I would say, because Blake Snell, I don't care, you gave it 3 runs. This game and this game, he struck out 26 dudes in 2 games, and then if you want to add 8 more, yeah, you can give up runs occasionally if you're striking everybody out, in my opinion. So, hey, you've been on absolute fire since, I mean, these are amazing numbers. So have fun, Atlanta pitchers, batters, I mean. Ooh, let's go to the pops. This should be fun. Let's look at his matchup history. Nothing is really standing out. Solar being 444 is not. Olsen being 1 for 11. That's kind of surprising. Merrittfield 455 and 11 at bats. I mean, I don't want to take anyone versus Snell right now, to be honest. I'm just showing these. Some people might want to take them. I'm not. Against lefties, you can see how Atlanta's done. Ozuna's the only one that's actually really good, and White, but White doesn't play. So, props, outs. He should go 6 innings, but Atlanta's offense is hot. He could get shelled. It could happen. It could. Strikeouts, 15, 11, 8. I mean, I mean, this is a hard one. This is a very, I'm excited to watch this game. I will be watching this tonight because why not? Oh, and then we want sale numbers. How does he do history? Chapman's 250, 125 for Kana. Nothing stands out. San Fran loves hitting lefties. We know this. 4, 3, 4, 3, 3, 3, 3. You can see they love some lefties. But it's Chris Sale. I mean, do you love Chris Sale? Because you're going to have to, if you want to get some runs, hits, earned runs, walks, and outs. I mean, I'm not feeling none of that. There's a whole bunch of green bats to look at too. You have your choice. You got Conforto, you got Riley, you got Fitzgerald, you got a bunch of bases to look at. I mean, I'll pause for a second, take a look, soak it in, because I'm not playing a damn one of them, because I don't trust it, because we got two monsters out there on the mound. No shots. Under is 6.5 for a reason. Now, I will never take an under 6.5 again. I took one this year already. Chicago, it had lost. I said never again. So I am going to do the smart thing here, the smartest thing I can do, and not touch it. Leave it alone. This is danger. Leave this alone. I'm going to watch it for fun. That's it. Believe it or not, I can do that. So I'm going to watch this. I'm going to pass completely and call it a day. That's it. All 11 games broken down. Ended up passing on 5 games completely passed on. It's Monday. Weird things happen on Mondays. Moneyline parlay ended up being Houston, Yankees, Dodgers. Pretty chalky if you ask me, but that's what a moneyline parlay is. It's chalk in a box. So I boxed up the chalk and I'm trying to make some profits off it. So home run bats, I didn't type them out, but you saw a couple like Swanson, and there were some other ones that stood out. So yeah, they're out there. So for me, I have those. That's all the plays for today. It's Monday. Mondays are weird. So drop a like, subscribe, check out Outliers, link in the description. If you want to skip all the plays and just get the list of plays typed out, you got to become either a YouTube member, join the Patreon, or join the Discord straight through WAP. All the links are in the description. Links are in the top comment. You have all there. Let me know who you're playing today. And other than that, hopefully we all profit, and we'll see you tomorrow.